Hi guys, it's Patty with Patty's Paper Design. How are all of you? I'm doing fairly well. Haven't done a video for a little while, so I thought I'd better get on here and get one done. If you have looked at my community tab, you know that I mentioned that we would be doing belly band waterfalls. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. So, I don't know, did I ask you guys how you were doing? I hope you're all doing well. Like I said, I'm doing pretty good. I got a really busy week ahead of me. Another one of those, I can't stand it. I got my 4 therapy appointments. I've got a dentist appointment, and I have an appointment with my sleep doctor. So I'm busy. busy this week. Plus working. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to do these belly band waterfall little nifty things. What you want to start out with, we're going to do 2 different ways, or I'm going to show you 2 different ways. And when I say that, I mean we're actually going to be using 3 different kinds of paper. One of the ones I'm going to be showing you and doing here on film is with 2 different kinds of paper, and then one that I've already done, and I will show you at the end what it looks like. We've only used 1 kind of paper. Is that right? No, I think we have used 2 kinds, but different kind. So we're using 3 kinds altogether. We're going to start out with cardstock. And we're going to use green on this one. And I know when I look through the look through my camera, it looked like this cardstock showed up as like a bluish green. Well, it's not. It's more like a traditional green, Christmas green. Because I got it at Michael's, not Michael's, yeah, Michael's. I got it at Michael's as a package of red, white, and green. And it was intended for Christmas. So it shouldn't look blue-green, but if it does, it's not. I don't know if that made sense or not. Anyway, we're going to start out with this cardstock. I think I used 2 sheets of this. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our belly band. And we're going to cut our belly band at 7.5 tall by 3.5 wide, and you don't have to make it that wide if you don't want. You can make it smaller. You can make it a little bit larger too if you'd like, but this is going to cover up most of the page in your journal. Let me show you here. This is just a piece of coffee dyed paper, coffee dyed copy paper, so it's going to cover the page like that. And even if you have paper, say for instance a digital where you've had the white border that you have to trim off, this is still going to fit. That's why I made it 7.5 inches tall. So anyhow, there's that idea. Then what you're going to do is you're going to cut 8 pieces of paper that are 4.5 inches tall. No, not 4.5. 4 inches tall and 3.5 inches wide. And then we are going to score on the long side. We're going to score 1/2 inch. So here's the 4 inches. You want to score it down at 3.5 inches. I don't know if I mentioned, but you want 8 of these. So after you get these done and scored, I'm going to set the belly band part aside for a minute. You want to cut 8 pieces of writing paper that is 3 7/8 and 3 7/8. 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Or if you're very good at placing it down perfectly precise, you can make it be a 3.5-inch square. But we're going to glue this down here like this, so I'll have a border where I can cut around, and it doesn't matter if I'm off or not. It'll still turn out good. So let's go ahead and I'm going to score these. I mean, not score. I'm going to do this here thing. Burnish. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to burnish. They're already scored. I'm going to burnish these. And then on this side, I've already got 6 of these done. On this side, I am going to glue, and you can use whatever glue you want. I'm using art glitter glue. I think I may have used glue stick on some of them, but on these ones I'm using art glitter glue. And this here is just copy paper. There's a digital that I printed. I think it's supposed to be tea-dyed, a tea-dyed digital. I like the tea-dyed because they're a little bit lighter than the coffee dyed that I make. So I kind of like those for certain projects. So you're going to glue your 8 pieces down on your 8 flips. These are our flips that create our waterfall. Now we're going to cut Sorry I'm not talking. I can't cut and talk at the same time, I don't guess. But you might notice that, let me show you here in a minute, once I get this trimmed up better. Okay, you might notice if you're using art glitter glue or a liquid type glue, a wet glue like that, you can see the glue from underneath, but that's going to dry and you're not going to be able to see that when it's all said and done. So you want to trim these off. Now I've seen these made, so many people make these. I can't really attribute it to any one person, but I can say that I was watching a video of Dee Dee Fargo's where she made what she called a waterfall, but it looked completely different than what we're making. It looked almost backwards from what we're making, in my view, anyway. Okay, so now you're going to cut your decorative papers. And these are from Charm Studio? Yeah, Charm Studio. And if you've never been on, it's an Etsy shop. If you've never been on that Etsy shop, you probably ought to go over there and take a look. She's got some really, really beautiful papers. So this is Charm Studio. It's one of her Christmas backgrounds. Now on this here, I'm not good at gluing this straight like that and getting it buttered up just right. So what I'm going to do, and you only want 4 of these. 4 of them are going to be green and 4 of them are going to be decorative papers. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my scoreboard to help me here. There could be an easier way to do this, but I don't have a clue what that way would be. If you can find an easier way to get it lined up, then go for it. But this is what I've been doing. Been taking it and buttoning it up against my scoreboard edge there, and just putting that first strip of glue, and then I'm butting up my decorative paper, making sure it's down, and then folding it back and coming up underneath and finishing gluing. Because I don't know any other way to make sure that I'm straight on this this burnished edge. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim this. I don't think I need that anymore, so I'll set that aside. We're going to trim this. I'm going to put my glue lid on because I don't believe I need it for just a bit. I don't want it getting clogged. You know how art glitter glue is. It gets clogged pretty quickly. And I've been saving these little decorative strips. I don't know what I'll ever do with them. I mean, some of them are bigger than others, but I've been saving them. Because who knows, I might do something with them at some point in time. So I got a little square tub-like thing that I've been putting them in. A little basket. So now what we want to do is, you don't have to do this if you don't want, but I want my corners rounded. The bottom corners. And I've been using the 7mm on this We Are Memory Keepers punch. And I think that's a nice corner round. There's that. We did 2 of these, so I better do both of them. And so now if you ink, you want to ink now. I ink, so I'm inking now. And somehow or another, I got my sponges confused. And I used my black sponge. No. I used my vintage photo sponge in my, what is it called? In my black soot. So I had to try and get it wiped off as best I could. And it's looking better now, but for a while it was kind of looking pretty dark. But like I said, it's doing a little bit better now. Which I'm happy about. So honestly, I haven't a clue what time it is. I'm hoping I can get this done within a half an hour's time. Because I don't like to keep you on here any longer than necessary. But I am a slow crafter. So I try to have as much stuff prepared ahead of time to where, you know, we're not on here for 2 or 3 hours trying to get a little project done. But anyhow, the reason I don't know what time it is because I've been wearing my watch for about 2 or 3 days now and it's dead. I don't know. I haven't had a chance. Every time I walk past my charger, I don't think about putting it on there. And then when I'm not walking past my charger, I think, man, I need to charge my watch. So hopefully when I get back upstairs, I'll put it on the charger. So now let me tell you a little bit about what's going on with my little Ellie girl. I think some of you know my little Ellie girl is a golden doodle. She's my little puppy girl. And she's really not a puppy. She was 2 years old last August 14th. And she's really not mine, per se. She's really my daughter-in-law's. My daughter-in-law is a breeder, and she purchased Ellie for breeding purposes, and I am what you call her guardian. So the way that works is Ellie lives at my house. I take care of Ellie. I love Ellie. I make sure she has her shots. She goes to the vet. She's groomed, all that stuff that you do for a dog. And then when she goes into heat the second time, then she goes over to my daughter-in-law's to mate with one of her studs. And, well, that's where Ellie is right now. She's been there for about a week. And I don't know, I don't know if what the outcome will be. I don't know if we'll have a litter of puppies in a couple months or not. But if she does end up getting pregnant, then she goes over to Christine's house when the time comes to deliver, and she stays there until the puppies are weaned and sold. And then she comes back to our house. So, okay, so you have 4 of these, and you have 4 of these, like this. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our belly band, wherever I put it, and we are going to start out with, I started out with the, what's this? Designer paper. I started out with the designer paper on top, and I pulled my scoreboard over to help assist me with this first one. And again, I'm using the art glitter glue. And I'm going to glue up my little flap here. And let me get this up here a little better to where you can see. And then I'm going to glue this down, like so. Now, I want to tell you, I don't know how you guys are with measuring and cutting and scoring and all that, but it seems like no matter what I do, I line it up at the same point and score it at the same point and cut it at the same point, and it's always different. Okay, so then I'm going to start with a green one. So I'm telling you that little story about things not being lined up because this may not be completely and totally lined up perfectly when we're done. But we're going to try for it to be. We are going to try for it to be. Now, as you can see, that one's off. So I'm going to trim that a little bit. And I'm going to have to re-ink a little bit. Okay. All right, so we got a decorative paper, then we have a green paper. Now we're going to put a decorative paper, and you want to make sure the writing spots are when you glue these down, facing towards the belly band. Okay, that looks pretty good. And you also, if you're using a directional paper for your designed paper, you want to make sure you get it on correctly and that you cut it correctly. I gotta make sure I know what I'm doing here. See, I gotta keep looking back to make sure I know what I'm doing, because it's very easy to screw up if you don't pay attention. And you don't want to put all this hard work into it and end up having it be messed up. That isn't any fun. That one's off a little bit too. I don't know if I'm worried about it though. Let's see. No, I don't think I'm worried about that one being off. Okay, so this is a green one. So now we want a designer one. I mean, well, yeah, I guess it is a designer one. It's a decorative one. Now we want a green one. Now we want a decorative one. And finally, we might want a green one. Okay, so now we have this place right here. And what we want to do with that is we need to have, not just should have, but we really do need to have an extra piece of the decorative paper. And so the extra piece that I have is just wide enough, but it's much longer. So I don't have that wiggle room on either side, so I got to be very careful here. So I pull in my scoreboard again. It's going to help me to line up the sides, I think. Maybe I should put it this way. This way. We'll do it this way. That way. Can I do it like that, I wonder? No, I can't do it that way. I'm going to take and put that over there. I don't think that's going to help me with this. So I am going to hope for the best. That's all I can say. going to hope for the best. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on, so in case I screw up, I don't have a big problem. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm glad about that. All right, so let's get some more glue down. Don't want to pull it up off there. Now, it could be that you'll have to go back if you use art glitter glue like I'm doing, and if you can't do a straight line real close to the edge like I can't, it might be that after you get everything put together, you might have to go around the edge and stick your nozzle in between the decorative paper and the cardstock. I've had to do that, but it's okay. So that's all stuck down. Now I'm going to trim this end off here. And we have that. Now, it kind of flips up and everything, but you can manipulate it, and you can stick it under a stack of books if you need to, and that sort of thing. We're not done with this yet though. So, if you see here, this is just a little bit wider than these here. This section right here is a little bit wider, or whatever you want to call this measurement here. So what I did was, these are 1/2 inches. So I measured, let's see, where's my pencil? Here it is. Okay, so I measured 1/2 inch. Then I got my ruler. Put up me a big line. Then I got my cutter. And I cut it. I wish this opened up farther, but it doesn't. And I think that's about right. I think that's about right. So there we go, we got that cut. That looks much better now. Except I see I didn't cut it quite straight, because I can see part of the pencil here. But that's okay, I'll just erase that part of the pencil. I think I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to cut my corners with my corner rounder. And then I'm going to put my glue on my lid on my glue. I'm going to distress this one. And I distress both sides of these ones that flip, but this one here, you just need to distress this side because you're not going to see that other side, because it's going to be attached to your page pretty much. Okay, so now we're going to decorate it up a little bit. And I have these cute little fussy cuts that I've cut out, and I've inked them up and they're basically all just floral arrangements. And they're from a place called Flutterby Digitals. And I don't know how many sheets it was, but I've got this whole big package. I've cut out all the green and red ones, and then what's left are pink and blue and some colors I'm not working with right now. So I'm going to go ahead and, before I attach those, because I don't want them to peek out underneath here, I still want to be able to see this green. So I'm going to take my pencil and just lightly mark here in the middle to where I know I'm not going to go below that line with my decorations. So I think these look really nice in here. So if they do happen to go up above there a little bit, see that one won't show, see? But when you fold this piece up, it might bend a little bit up here. If that bothers you, you can snip that off. It doesn't bother me, so I'm not worried about snipping it off. And you can use either art glitter glue, or you can use your glue stick, or whatever kind of glue you want to use is fine, I think. Although I've seen some people use really runny glue. I don't think that doesn't dry fast. I don't think I would use anything that doesn't dry fast. I think I would be sure and use something that's going to dry, pretty quickly. So, and you want to make sure that you get your decorative piece up, right, straight, and all that. You don't want to put it on upside down. I've been known to do those kinds of things, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Now it is going to mess up with that there just a little bit, but I'm not concerned about that. You can hear it. So now, I don't know if I mentioned, I did the ink around all these already. If you're not an inker, you don't have to worry about it. I ink sometimes and sometimes I don't. If I'm working in a journal that is primarily, that's like white, has white pages. I mean, not white pages, but has decorative pages that has white in the background and not so much of the distress type look. I'm fine with not inking. Unless I, want it to pop a little bit more than it would otherwise. Now, I think this is right side up like this. I'm hoping that that is right side up like that. Because it's got these little ornaments in this flower arrangement, and they look to me like they're moving downward. Hopefully that's correct. Now this one here has a little pot that these plants are in. So that's easy enough to figure out what orientation is correct. Just got to make sure I pay attention to it. And it's not as tall as some of the other ones I chose, so I don't think it's going to show. I hope it doesn't show. Hope I didn't get that little Yeah, that's fine. I like using this bone folder to smooth down. A lot of people have credit cards and what have you. I really like this. Okay, so we got our last one here. And I think this is right side up. That's my hope anyway. Okay, now I'm going to put my glue on, my lid on my glue. And I'm going to go back with my eraser and erase these marks that I put on here. Little thing coming up here needs a little bit of glue. Unfortunately, I got more than I needed. I guess I got that all erased. Okay. So there we have it. We have this cute little belly band flip, and this will flatten out. You know, just maneuver it or put it under a book, or when you get it in your journal and your journal's tied shut, it will flatten out. So it's going to be on your page like this, glued down here at the bottom and at the top. Then you can stick. What do I have that I can stick under there? Let's stick this piece of paper under there. You can stick journaling cards under here, a couple of them probably. And then you flip this up, and every one of these little flips has writing spaces. Isn't that cute? And you can decorate it up more than I have, but I like this the way it is. I don't think it needs any more. Now I may put something on here, but I'm not sure. So I'm not going to do anything with it right now. When I put it in the journal, I might do something, and maybe put some kind of label or Merry Christmas or something. But I love this paper, and I don't think I want anything to cover it up. So I think I'm going to leave it just the way it is, and I'm very happy with it. So now I've made 3 others, 2 like this, and then another one. So let me show you those. Okay, this is the first one I made, and I just love this one. I love these colors together. And here are my decorative pieces that I put in. And this also is Charm Studio, the decorative paper is. And then the fussy cuts are that Flutter by Digital. And this one I really got off. But I've been able to fiddle around with it, and I had it clipped for a while, and it kind of helped straighten it out, and I filled around and kept burnishing the top, and it's better than it was. It's still off, but it's better than it was. But I'm okay with it. I mean, we're not in for perfection, or at least I'm not. Okay, so that's the first one I did. This is the second one I did. Same digitals and same fussy cuts. And then the third one is made out of, the belly band itself is made out of cardstock, but the rest of the flips are made out of scrapbook paper. And I'll get that one for you and show you. It's underneath books right now, pressing. This one here is made out of 49 and Market paper. I think the actual name of the kit might be called Warm Wishes. And I told you about cutting your paper right and lining up right and all that sort of thing, because the kit came with 3 identical pages per design. It was an 8x8, and I needed all 3 in order to make my flips. In order to make the thing. Well, lo and behold, one of the papers I cut in the wrong orientation. I had the 4 inches going this way and the 3.5 going that way, and that didn't help me because I needed the 4 to go this way so I could score it at 1/2 inch, and then we'd have a 3.5 by 3.5 square piece. So I couldn't use this third piece of paper. But we had cutouts on that in that kit, so I used the cutouts to decorate my green pages. And these are, see, this paper is that paper, and this paper is that paper. So it's double-sided scrapbooking paper is what I'm really trying to say. And I backed these fussy cuts or cutouts, or what do you want to call them, on a little bit of the writing paper that I used, just so they would pop out a little bit. And this one I did a little bit more just to make it, I don't know, maybe I should have used a smaller frame, but that's what I did. I used a larger frame. So it's the same measurements, it's the same number of flips. So the belly band is 3.5 by 7.5, and the flips are cut at 4 by 3.5 with a 1/2 inch score on the 4 inch side. And this is where I screwed up. I should have had a piece that looks like this left to glue down here. Well, I got down to the end of my papers and I realized I didn't have that piece. So I just used a piece of the backing papers that I was using and used one of the cutouts for this last section. And then these here, I think I tore them at about, I tore these, the writing pages. And I think I tore them at about 3 1/4 square, I believe. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, 3 1/4 square. Because I wanted that paper to show through. That I hated covering that up because it's so pretty. But in order to do what I wanted to do, I had to, right? And I'm not going to decorate this anymore either. I think it's just beautiful as it is. So this is what I have to show you for today. Next time we I come on video, I think I'm going to be making fabric tags, possibly. I'm going to be making fabric tags soon. It may not actually be the next video, because I've got a couple of projects on my desk I want to finish up, and I need to video them before they're completely finished. So I don't want to put any more projects on my desk before I get the ones I've got on my desk off my desk. So anyhow, I hope you like these and I hope you try them. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you've been with me this long, maybe you would want to subscribe if you haven't already, and give me a like and a comment. And you know what I forgot to do? I was going to mention my people that commented. Okay, I know I had 2 commenters. Julie Torrance, who always comments on every one of my videos. I want to give her a shout out. And a girl named Jenny commented on my video. And possibly, oh, what's her name? I think I've got it written down somewhere. Possibly, I don't have it within arm's reach. No, I don't have it within arm's reach. But if there was another commenter, I will recognize her in my next video. So you all have a wonderful day. I've got to get myself ready and get to my appointment. And after that, I am free for the evening. I got to get some housework done, and my son's coming over tomorrow. He's gonna shampoo my carpets in my 2 bedrooms. So I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna have lunch as well. So we'll be talking to you later. Bye bye, guys. Have a good day.